Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, warm welcome to all the devotees who have come today for our fortnightly satsang program, where we are discussing from the Shrimad Bhagavatam. तो आप सबका स्वागत है हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में. Thank you for joining. Those who have joined online also, I welcome you. Thank you for joining. So last time we were discussing, from the Shrimad Bhagavatam, we are in Canto 3, Chapter 3, and last time we did verse number 3. So 3.3.3, right? बोलने में भी अच्छा लगता है. And this time we are going to the next verse, verse number 4. Basically in this particular verse, fourth verse, in this particular verse, the fourth verse of third chapter, there is the pastime of the Lord getting married after his marriage to Rukmini. Last time we discussed the marriage of Krishna to Rukmini, which is one of the most exciting and very, क्या बोलते हैं, रोमांचक, as they say, very romantic pastime of the Lord. We discussed that, and after that, Sukhdev Goswami, Uddhava, who is basically he is summarizing, right, the pastimes of Krishna to whom? No, to Vidura. To Vidura, right? So, who context lana jaruri, where we are. In Srimad Bhagavatam, you can get lost. It's an ocean. So it's important to get the context. So Uddhava is telling Vidura in short, sankshipt mein, about the pastimes of Krishna. Just take a jhalki is giving one verse, one pastime. He's not going to the details of the pastime, right? And what we are doing is taking each of those verses and we are going into detail, right? So that we get to hear Krishna Katha. We don't have to wait till the 10th canto. We can hear now only. Third canto itself we can hear. So we were discussing last time about Rukmini Haran, the kidnapping of Srimati Rukmini Devi. And now in today's verse, one more wife of Krishna, how he won her, that is discussed. So I thought, let me take this opportunity to discuss all the, other than Rukmini, he had 7 more principal queens. Okay. And today we'll try and discuss how, if time permits, how he got each of these wives. So it is very interesting, very fascinating. The Srimad Bhagavatam, as we have discussed many times before, it is not, it is a Puran, Bhagavad Puran. It is called Srimad Bhagavad Puran. Puran doesn't mean what ordinarily people call nowadays mythology. What is mythology? Mythology comes from the word myth. Myth means what? Imaginary, false, something that's false. So the Western philosophers, so-called, have branded, chap laga diya on all our scriptures as mythology. And mythology basically means something which is not true, just some stories for inspiration. No, it's not a fact. Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever it is stated, the Puranas, whatever is stated, it is historical facts. We have to have faith in our own scriptures. If you don't have faith in your scriptures, what do you have faith in? What the Western philosophers are saying? We have to have faith. And the stories that are given in Srimad Bhagavatam are so powerful. They're so purifying. Just by reading, when I prepare for a lecture, this part of especially Bhagavatam, when you prepare, it is a pleasure to prepare also. Bhagavad Gita ka lecture prepare karna thoda heavy gilta hai. It's heavy philosophy, right? But this is pure katha, so it's like you don't have to think too much. Sochna nahi padta, just padho. Very sweet. So today we will discuss about how Krishna married 7 other queens. So after the story of Rukmini in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, there is the story given of the Shamantaka jewel. Okay, this is a very famous story because the Shamantaka jewel, was it is described that there was a king called Satrajit. Okay, King Satrajit. This Satrajit was affiliated with Dwarka. Matlab, he was under the domain of Dwarka, but he was a king of his own. He was in some kingdom close to Dwarka. And because in those days that's how it was, right? The king, there was one king, under that king there would be many other kings, who would kind of owe allegiance to that king. So like that, Satyajit owed allegiance to Ugrasen. He was under Ugrasen's protection, so to say. So Satyajit was a worshipper of Suryadev. Suryadev. Okay, the worshipper of Suryadev. And because he was a worshipper of Suryadev, he had received a benediction from Suryadev. Suryadev had given him a gem, a jewel, called the Shamantaka Mani, Shamantaka jewel. Now, this Shamantaka jewel is very famous because ये एक jewel की वजह से बहुत कुछ pastimes हो गया, which are related in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm not going to all details, but some details you should get, because it's very, very lot of powerful lessons. Through this pastime of Shamana's jewel, the Lord shows us what is the futility of material wealth. किसी को सुन के अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, but futility of material wealth, what wealth we have, उसका मतलब how it can have, बुरा परिणाम, how it can have a reverse, situation. If you have too much wealth, what that does, what situations it creates, we learn from this beautiful pastime. So this Satyajit, he had got this jewel from Suryadev. Now, what was so special about this Shamantak Mani? Everyone would like to have Shamantak Mani today. If there are explorers, they would like to find this Shamantak Mani. Kidhar hai? So Shamantak Mani was so special. It is described that by just keeping it in one place and nicely worshipping it daily, मतलब उसका जो भी उपचार करना है, अगर बस उतना करने से it would produce something to the extent of 170 pounds of gold every day. ये सुनने में भी कुछ ज्यादा ही लगता है. 170 पाउंड मतलब ये कुछ ज्यादा 20-25 करोड़ का gold it is producing every day. This is what the power of that Shamantak jewel was. Now you can imagine if someone is getting richer by 23 crores every day, वो तो अंबानी से भी ज्यादा richer हो गया ना, तो मतलब big shot हो गया वो. So this Satyajit, because he got this, he became very proud, right? Anyone who gets this kind of wealth, naturally they feel कि I don't have to listen to anybody. Now what happened was, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Now he knows past, present, and future. He says in the Bhagavad Gita, I know past, present, and future. So he knows what is going to happen. So Satyajit को जाके बोलते हैं कि see, you are having something which is of so much value. You should present it to King Ugrasen, because you are under the domain of King Ugrasen. Therefore, you should present it to King Ugrasen. Now, why did Krishna tell him? Not because he wants to Ugrasen को कुछ ऊपर करना है, not because anything else. He wants to protect the life of Satyajit. He knows that ऐसा कोई चीज किसी के पास है, तो basically वो risk में है. You can see this even today in the material world. The moment somebody discovers something which is of immense value, what does it happen? What happens? Immediately the vultures come in. The vultures means not the bird. I think. Hare Krishna. ये वाला नहीं. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, the moment someone has something of great value in this world, immediately the vultures come in. Who are the vultures? The capitalists. So, see, Africa was always seen as a land of poverty. The people from there were just picked up and made slaves. Till they discovered कि Africa में minerals है, Africa में precious stones है. Then they started capturing the lands, killing everything. They would kill people indiscriminately because they wanted to capture the land. वो land capture किया, तो वो अपना हो गया ना. Then that whatever diamonds, emeralds are coming out of that land, that becomes mine. So this is what happens when great wealth or potential for great wealth is discovered. Immediately the greedy vultures they kind of swoop in. So Krishna knew this, so he told him that you give this to Ugrasen. But Satyajit said, no, why should I give? Why should I give? Mera hai, main kyun do? Right? So, and this is what happens. Sometimes people come and give us good advice, and we feel somehow that we are more intelligent than the person giving us advice, right? I mean, ऐसा ही लगता है. कोई भी, whoever comes and gives us advice, we somehow, because we are adults, we think that we know better. Sometimes we do, rarely, but most of the time, someone who's advising us, why they're advising us? Because they know that we are going wrong somewhere. कोई बिना कारण आके एडवाइस तो देता नहीं है. कोई कारण होगा तभी तो कोई आपको आगे कोई नसीहत देगा कि भाई आप ऐसा करो या ऐसा करो. बट वी एज अडल्ट्स वी थिंक है हमें सब मालूम है तो अपना देख, डोंट टेल मी, राइट? सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, and that nature is so deeply ingrained within us that even if we know something is right, even if we know that the person telling us is our well wisher, even if we know that what advice they are giving is for our benefit, still we are not able to take. That is our false ego. That is our ego, which very often it stops us, from making progress in life. I speak for myself. When my parents came to Krishna consciousness 30 years back, 1992. Okay, at that time they tried very hard to make me also devotee, but I was against their advice. I know best what is good for me. मैं तो अपने हिसाब से क्या, like that. So I refused to, connect. I refused to do anything. And 5 years later, imagine 5 साल लग गए इस कश्ती को पानी में उतरने के लिए. 5 साल तक कश्ती बाहर. After a point, I was convinced Krishna consciousness, the philosophy that is given in Bhagavad Gita, the philosophy that is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, this is perfect, this is complete, this is absolutely amazing. I was convinced. But after a point, ego, no. इतने साल से नहीं तो अभी क्यों करूं? Mean I will not do. So I just held on like an idiot to my, my ego, my ideas of what I think is correct, what I think is good for me. I held on. But at one point, somehow by God's grace, मेरा ऐसा कान पकड़ के मेरे को भगवान लेके आए भक्ति में, and I somehow stuck. And I have no regrets from doing that. But the point is, we don't take good advice when it's given to us. Someone comes and tells us that, see, this age of Kali, okay, Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. So in age of Kali, we should Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam. Kalau na asteva, na asteva, na asteva gatir anyatha. So someone comes and tells us, you should chant the names of Krishna, chant the names of Krishna, chant the names of Krishna. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. ये हम लोग आके कोट करेंगे शास्त्र का. There is no other way, I know a better way. Right? So we somehow feel that we know better. We don't take it. So this is the quality that is shown by Satyajit. Even the Supreme Lord is coming and telling कि बाबा तुम ऐसा करो. अभी ordinary individual आके किसी को बोलेगा कि chant Hare Krishna. क्यों? मैं क्यों करूँ? Why I should chant? Why I should chant Hare Krishna? I don't want to chant Hare Krishna. I'll chant something else. We are so complicated. If you ask a child, छोटा बच्चा है, small child, everyone is chanting, they also start chanting. Their minds are not complicated. Very simple. We as adults, everything we try to balance in our mind कि ये सब बोल रहा है, इसमें मेरा क्या फायदा है, इसका कुछ तो फायदा है इसमें. Why is he telling me this? We're so complicated. Even if good advice comes, we don't take it. So this was the situation. So now what happened was, he refused. He said, no, I'm not giving. So Krishna said, okay, your wish, don't give. After some days, his brother was by the name Prasena. Now this Prasena, he wanted to wear this jewel. So he wore the jewel and he went for hunting. Kshatriyas go for hunting. So he went for hunting, he went into the forest. And when he was in the forest, he was killed by a lion. A lion caught him and killed him. Now after the lion killed him, the lion found the jewel. So the lion took the jewel and started dragging it towards its den. At that time, the other animals in the forest came to know about this jewel. And Jambavant, everyone knows who's Jambavant? Jambavant from Sri Ramayana. He was still alive. Okay, he is one of those Chiranjeevis. So he was still there. And he was living in that forest with his family in one cave. He also heard about this jewel. Array, the lion has got some very fancy jewel. So he went up to that lion. He fought with the lion with his bare hands. He killed the lion. So Jambavan, it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam that he is one of the most powerful, one of them. He was the most powerful living entity at that time. Though he's so old from Ramayana days, but still he was very, very powerful. But living a very reclusive life, in the remembering the names of Lord Ram. And he was very happy there. So this Jambavan, he kills this lion with his bare hands and he takes the jewel. But he is not attached to the jewel. So jewel se kuch lena dena nahi hai. What he does, he takes the jewel, he goes to his cave and he gives it to his son. You play. And the son is playing with the jewel. Now, in the meantime, what has happened? So this is the story that's happening in the forest with Prasena, who went, the brother of Satyajit, who wore the jewel, went to the forest and never came back. Because he never came back, what started? This Satyajit started thinking, this Krishna, he asked me to give this jewel, and I didn't give him the jewel. And मेरा भाई ज्वेल पहन के गया था और वापस ही नहीं आया. जरूर कृष्णा ने कुछ किया होगा. He started thinking like this. Now, what is interesting over here is he was just thinking, but if he had just restricted it to thinking and then just dismissed it, no, he's the Supreme Lord, he doesn't need to do this. If he had just restricted it there, it would have been fine. But no, he maybe started speaking about it to different people. That Krishna ne aisa kiya hoga. Krishna must have kidnapped my brother, must have killed my brother, must have taken the jewel from him. Just please here. So he was thinking like that maybe Krishna has taken this jewel from my brother and killed him for it. So pehle man mein tha, like we also sometimes when we just move this side. So sometimes हमारे मन में भी किसी व्यक्ति के बारे में कुछ बुरा विचार आ जाता है. Sometimes, right? We think that this person is क्या समझता है अपने आप को? अपने मन में आता है ना कभी-कभी किसी को देख के समझता क्या है अपने आप को? What does he think? कौन है? जानता नहीं मैं कौन? Don't know who I am. I am such a great person. And all these thoughts start coming in our mind. अगर हमने उसको दबाया नहीं क्या होता है? After some time वो मन में रहता नहीं है. It comes out. We start talking to someone about it. Maybe to our wife, maybe to our husband. We start telling them that that who is there, that person. Oh, he just because he's in movement for many years, just because उसको दो श्लोक बोलने को आता है, पता नहीं अपने आप को क्या समझ लेता है. हाँ? तो हमने पहला वो बोल दिया. अभी बोल दिया. उन्होंने सुना. उनको लगा कि हाँ सही तो बोल रही है. And he goes and tells his friend, अरे वो प्रभु जी है ना, वो बहुत प्राउड हो गए हैं, उनको श्लोक आता है बोलने को तो बहुत प्राउड हो गए. And that's how it spreads. So this is what happened with Satyajit also. Satyajit was in his mind offending Krishna. In his mind, he was thinking that maybe Krishna is responsible for my brother not coming back. But till that point, it was bad, but it was not so bad. But when he started speaking about it, a kind of rumor started spreading. And we also do these things, even till this day, and that's how rumors spread. That one person goes and says, मैंने सुना है कि ऐसा, और मुझे पता नहीं, मेरे को नहीं मालूम, लेकिन मैंने तो सुना है कि ऐसा हो गया. And that's how the rumors are. किसी को बोलना नहीं है. The moment we tell someone किसी को नहीं बोलना, we are dead sure that it's going to go all over the world. Right? I remember, when I used to work for this SAP, in my previous days, I used to work for SAP. Every year, we used to have a Jan to December year. Every year in January, they would change the structure of the company. Sales structure बदल जाता था. So whom you are reporting to, which team you are part of, हर साल बदलता, हर साल, right? And we never had a clue कि क्या होने वाला है, because ऊपर management बैठ के ये सब decide कर रहे हैं. Wise men sitting in some ivory tower. They were deciding what our future is going to be. किसी को पता नहीं. But नवंबर दिसंबर में अफवाहें चालू हो जाती थी, हवा में ऐसे उड़ते उड़ते, अरे सुना है कि इसको भी प्रमोट करने वाले हैं, अरे सुना है कि वो जो है ना उसको साइडलाइन करने वाले हैं, ये जो है उसको he's going to be part of this person's team, he was actually his colleague but now he will report to him. ये सब अफवाहें ऐसे हवा में उड़ने लगती है, and 90% of the time all those अफवाह were true. 90% of the time, ऐसा नहीं कि मतलब कभी-कभी सही, सब सही निकलता था सब, पर हमें पता कब चलता था, जैन एंड में 2 महीने बाद कंफर्म ना चला अपने पास. So the funny part is we started forming a theory after a few years कि शायद ये लोग जानबूझ के ये अफवाह फैला रहे, because अगर सडनली बोल दिया कि अरे तुम्हारा रिपोर्टिंग चेंज हो गया, तुम्हारा टीम चेंज हो गया, तो आदमी डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है, विचलित हो जाता है कि अरे ये क्या है, मतलब इतने साल से इसके साथ काम कर रहा था, अभी मैं इसको रिपोर्ट करेगा, तो ये लोग सुन के डिस्टर्ब हो जाते हैं. तो ये लोग जानबूझ के शायद रूमर फैलाते हैं. This is how they used to do it. They'll tell one person, तेरे को बता रहा हूँ, giving you heads up, किसी को बोलना नहीं है. That's it. Next day ऐसा wildfire जैसा फैल जाता था. So this is what was happening here also. That rumors, people started whispering to each other. Okay, people started whispering to each other कि शायद कृष्णा ने किया है, पता नहीं यार, मालूम नहीं यार, ऐसा शायद हो सकता है. So this kind of rumor started happening. Now Krishna, when he came to know about this, he said that I have to do something, because he knows past, present, he knows what has happened. So he goes to the citizens. He says, see, Prasena went to the forest. He never came back from forest. No one has seen what happened. हम लोग जानते हैं ना, let's go to the forest and search for him. So एक search party लेके Krishna goes to the forest. And when he goes to the forest, in that forest, they see that there is a lion dead. एक lion मरा हुआ पड़ा है, और उसके बाजू में प्रसेना का शरीर का remaining parts, clothes वगैरह वहां पड़ा हुआ है. So they realize that, oh, looks like the lion killed प्रसेना. So पहला उनके माइंड में से वो डाउट हट जाता है कि लगता है लायन ने काम किया है, पर ज्वेल नहीं है, ज्वेल किधर है. So then they started searching, and they realized, Krishna knows that where the jewel is. So he says, looks like, it is in this cave. Let's go and search over here. So when they go to that cave, Krishna tells all the Dwarkavasis who have come with him, few of them have come with him. He tells them, you wait outside, and I will go inside and I will search. And they all wait outside the cave, and Krishna goes inside the cave. And when he goes inside the cave, there he sees the son of Jambavan. No, the son of Jambavan, small son of Jambavan, like this. Son. I'll come to it. Girl bhi hai, wo baad mein aayega. So there is a small son who is playing with that jewel. Socho, itna value. See, this is a lesson for us also. You have to understand that not everyone knows the value of everything. One time there was a man who went to a guru. उसको किसी ने बोला था कि गुरु के पास जाओगे तो ही स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में आप प्रगति कर सकते हैं, वरना गुरु के बगैर भक्ति पॉसिबल नहीं है. तो वो गया गुरु के पास और गुरु को बताया, he told the guru that Gurudev, I want to surrender to you, please give me some mantra diksha do, give me diksha. So Guru said, all right, I'll tell you one very, very confidential mantra, very, very confidential. Ekdam matlab, this is a mantra that was told by Brahmaji to Narad. It is mentioned in Kali Sandarma Upanishad. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Iti Shodashakam Nam Kali Kalmashanashanam Nata Paratara Upaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. So this is what Brahma is telling Narad Muni about this mantra. Just Iti Shodashakam Namna, this 16-worded mantra. Kali Kalmashanashanam. The Kali Yuga, what faults, quarrel, hypocrisy is there in Kali. Nashanam, it will destroy. Nata paratara upaya. There is no better opinion, there is no better option than this, in my opinion. This who is saying? Brahma, the chief engineer, the father, grandfather of all living entities. He is saying, इससे बेहतर कलयुग के लिए कुछ है नहीं than chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So he says that I don't think this is better, and he says Sarva Vedishu Krishna. Not just my opinion, this is the opinion of all the Vedas also. So he gives this mantra. Now this guru tells this person कि तुम ये मंत्र हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र आप रोज जपा करो. Very confidential, chant it nicely. So he says okay. Then he goes out. When he goes out of the guru's ashram, he's walking towards his home. He sees certain washermen. कपड़ा जो धोबी लोग रहते हैं ना, वो ऐसा कपड़ा धोते धोते they are chanting हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. गुरु ने कुछ कॉन्फिडेंशियल करके बोला था, ये तो धोबी लोग गा रहे हैं, ये क्या गड़बड़ है. वो थोड़ा और आगे जाता है. When he goes ahead, he sees some children playing with a ball. ऐसा थ्रो बॉल खेल रहे हैं, क्रिकेट खेल रहे हैं, जो भी है. He sees them playing, and when he sees them playing, he goes to them, and when he goes close by, he sees they are also chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. इसमें तो जाता है, ये क्या चल क्या रहा है, ये गुरु ने मेरे को कुछ तो उल्लू बनाया लगता है. So he goes back to the fisherman. He goes and he's going towards the sea, and he sees there are some fishermen sitting there. Those fishermen are also chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. तो बहुत ज्यादा हो गया. अब तो मैं ये गुरु को ही जाके पकड़ता हूँ. He goes to the guru and he says, Gurudev, what is this? आपने तो मेरे को लंबा शिरडी लगा दिया. ये क्या है? मतलब क्या हो गया? बोलते कि आपने मेरे को बोला ये मंत्र हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र दे रहे हो. When you gave me, you told me this is very confidential. But I am going out, I am seeing ordinary dhobi log are chanting. Then I am seeing bacche log are chanting. I am seeing fishermen are chanting. तो क्या? What is confidential about it? So Guru doesn't wait. रुको. He says, I'll give you this. I'll give you this stone. This stone is Chintamani stone. Chintamani मतलब आप इसको, if you say certain mantra and touch it, it will become gold. जिसको छूओगे वो gold बन जाएगा. तो आप ये लेके जाओ. And you show it to them and give it to them. And let's see what they do. So he first goes to the dhobis and says that ये पत्थर देखो, you get this thing. It is a shaligram. Jewel है कि shaligram? Shaligram है. Shaligram. Jewelry है. हाँ ठीक है, जो भी. Something. It's a jewel. So he goes to the children, the dhobis, and he says that this is a very precious, stone. And they say कि ये अरे बहुत अच्छा है, ये हमको दे दो. हम लोग जो कपड़े धोते हैं उसमें ये बहुत काम आएगा. घिसने के लिए कभी-कभी वो स्टेन जाता नहीं है ना, घिसने के लिए बहुत काम आएगा. अगर सत्यानाश कुछ मालूम नहीं है, ऐसे ही वो थोड़ा आगे जाता है. He goes to the children. He says that this stone. They say very good. हम लोग का जो बॉल है वो पूरा घिस गया है. ये स्टोन के ऊपर हम लोग कपड़ा चढ़ा के इसके साथ खेलेंगे अभी. वेरी गुड, हमको दे दो. तो बोलते हैं कि बाबा रहने दो, आपको ये इसका वैल्यू नहीं पता. Then he goes to the fishermen. When he goes to the fishermen, with those fishermen, he says that they see the stone. He says, अरे ये तो बहुत अच्छा है, अपने बहुत काम आएगा. हम लोग जो नेट फेंकते हैं ना, वो नेट को ताकि वो ऐसा फैल नहीं जाए, वो स्टोन उसको ऐसे एक जगह पे रखेगा. हमारे लिए बहुत ही वैल्यूएबल है, दे दो. He says, बाबा जाने दो. And he now goes back to the guru and he says, I have understood. Says that the mantra they may be having, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they may be chanting, but they haven't understood the true value of this mantra. उनको इसका क्या मूल्य है. जब तक गुरु की जब तक गुरु का उनको मतलब उसको थोड़ा 5 मिनट के बाद लेके फिर वापस आना। सो उनको जब तक गुरु का उनको जब तक उनको मंत्र का वैल्यू नहीं समझेगा गुरु के हिसाब से, तब तक they will not really get the full value of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So in the same way, over here, where were we? Jamban, yeah. Yes. Ladka is playing with the Shamantaka money, which can create 170 pounds of gold daily. But he doesn't do that. He doesn't know. So he's just playing with it. So now what happens is Krishna comes in front of him, and Krishna tries to take that, jewel from the child. So when he goes towards the child, वो child की वहाँ पे nurse रहती है, caretaker. So she sees Krishna and she's alarmed that maybe he's going to take away that Shamantak money. So she starts screaming. When she starts screaming, immediately who comes out? Jamban comes out. Jamban comes out and he thinks that now Krishna is going to take away that, he's going to take the Shamantak jewel. So he starts fighting with him. Okay. So he fights and Krishna also fights back with him. And this fight goes on for very long time. Oh, दिनों तक उनका fight चलता है. And the Dwarka Vasis are waiting outside. Finally, वो लोग हताश होके, they go back. They think looks like something happened to Krishna. And Krishna told them, don't come inside the cave. Very dangerous. आप बाहर मत आओ, अंदर मत आओ. So therefore Krishna had told them. So they became hatash and they went back to Dwarka. They thought Krishna कुछ हो गया. They go back. And over here, fight is going on and on and on and on. खत्म ही नहीं हो रहा है. After many days, finally Jambavan, Krishna is beating him, he is beating Krishna. And at some point, Jambavan, who is such a powerful entity, he starts losing the strength in his arms. He starts feeling कि I can't fight anymore. And at that moment, उनको बोलते हैं ना ट्यूबलाइट, टिंग 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 सबको चमत्कार हो जाते हैं. वो समझ जाते हैं this person, no ordinary person can fight like this with me for so many days so effortlessly and not be defeated. This cannot be anyone other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. जो रामचंद्र जिनकी मैं आराधना करता था, ये वही रामचंद्र अभी कृष्ण के रूप में मेरे सामने प्रकट हुए हैं. और I am so foolish that I am fighting with him. What a fool I am. He immediately surrenders. He immediately, pays obeisances and says, my Lord, he starts, glorifying. I'm sorry, I did not recognize you. And with great love, he tells the Lord that, my Lord, I want to give you this. Krishna says that you please give me this jewel. Krishna हमसे मांगते हैं, right? Krishna tells him that you please give me this jewel back. And he explains to him, he said, देखो क्या है ना, कि because of this jewel, मेरा नाम खराब हो गया. So even Supreme Lord, right? Supreme, ऐसे कृष्णा का तो बहुत नाम खराब है. आज के तारीख में भी बहुत लोग उनका नाम खराब करते हैं. But Krishna, because he is a person, he is not some energy. He is not some impersonal. God is not some impersonal energy. He is a person like you and me. Like if someone comes and spoils your name, will you like it? नहीं ना. हम बोलते हैं ना गणपति के दिन रात के टाइम मून को मत देखो वरना अपना नाम खराब हो जाएगा. बोलते हैं ना, है ना ऐसा कुछ? अपना नाम खराब हो जाएगा. So no one likes their name to be spoiled. Everyone wants that their name should be good. Whatever it is worth. अपना कुछ ज्यादा reputation नहीं रहेगा, लेकिन जो चारा ना आटा ना reputation है वो खराब नहीं होना चाहिए, है कि नहीं? So like that, Krishna also, he wants to protect his reputation. He tries his best. That's why he went to the jungle. That's why he fought with Jamban for 28 days. Till Jamban realized, he could have smashed Jamban with one shot. But he waited till Jamban himself realized. So the Lord is also like that. We can learn something from this also. That Krishna never forces himself on us. He waits. He waits till we ourselves realize that Jiver Surupaya Krishna Nitras. We realize that the constitutional position of the living entity is that we are eternally the servants of the Lord. We are meant for His pleasure. When we come to that realization, the Lord is waiting. Till then, He is waiting. He doesn't force. So he was also waiting for Jamat to realize. And after Jamat realizes that my Lord, he says, okay, please give me that Jamat jewel because I have to go back and give it to Satrajit. So then he gives him the jewel, and along with the jewel, he also offers his daughter Jambavati. Now the daughter has come. So he offers Jambavati as his, he says that, my Lord, my daughter is of marriageable age, so you please take my daughter and you marry her. So he takes so Krishna takes Jambavati, takes the Shamata jewel, and he comes back. Now when he comes back, Krishna comes and first visits Satrajit, doesn't go anywhere else. पहला सत्राजित को जाके विजिट करते हैं और सत्राजित के हाथ में होते हैं ये लो तुम्हारा शामंत्र ज्वेल. Now Satrajit starts feeling ashamed, right? Because he knows that he was the one who started the rumor. He was the one who, kind of started the whisper campaign. कि शायद इन्होंने किया है, शायद उन्होंने किया है, वगैरह वगैरह. So he was also feeling very bad about it. Now when Krishna comes and gives him the Shamantar Mani in his hand, he started feeling very guilty in his heart. So he told, no, I don't want. Krishna said, no, you only keep it. Because he was, ये अभी वापस मेरे को दे देगा, वापस इसके ऊपर कुछ ये हो जाएगा. He said, you keep it and I'll give it to you in front of all Dwarkavasis. सबके सामने में आपके हाथ में देता हूँ ताकि किसी के माइंड में कोई डाउट नहीं होना चाहिए कि ये ज्वेल अभी किसके पास है. Other people may feel Krishna brought it back, but he kept it. So you only keep it. So he gives it. So now, Satrajit wants to give the jewel to Krishna, Shamanta jewel, but Krishna says no. So then he gives his greatest jewel. The greatest jewel that Satrajit has was not the Shamanta. It was his very beautiful and very qualified daughter, Satyabhama. So he had a daughter called Satyabhama. Now Krishna has already come back with the first wife other than Rukmini. अभी कितने हो गए? 2 हो गए. Okay. So now he says that you take my daughter Satyabhama. She is my greatest jewel. This jewel will only give material wealth, but she will serve you. So you please take her as a wife. So now Krishna gets his third wife, Satyabhama, who is very beautiful with all great qualities. And it is described of the 8 principal wives of Krishna, Satyabhama was the most dominating. Very dominating person. She demands. मुझे ये चाहिए मतलब चाहिए. And Krishna, when he's playing a husband role, he becomes like a henpecked husband. Prabhupada says, Krishna, in a subsequent chapter, he says that Krishna, even for his pure devotee, he plays the role of henpecked husband also. वो भी करते हैं for the pleasure of his devotees. So Satyabhama. Now after Satyabhama, so 2 अभी कितने हो गए? 3 हो गए. Rukmini, Jambavati and Satyabhama. 3 हो गए. Then it is described in Krishna book. So this is all given in one chapter. 5, Krishna married 5 people. So then after this, Krishna, he had gone to Hastinapur. Because in Hastinapur, this Lakshagraha incident had just happened. And the Pandavas had gone into hiding with Mother Kunti, and then they got married to Draupadi, and then they came back. They came back to Hastinapur. So when they came back to Hastinapur, Krishna is a cousin brother of the Pandavas. How? Anyone knows? Kunti and Vasudeva are brother and sister. That's how he is the cousin brother of the Pandavas. First cousin. First cousin, second cousin. He's first cousin. So even as a relative, he is related to the Pandavas. But more than that, they are his pure devotees. The description is given when he visited Hastinapur. The first time the Pandavas, till then, it's like practically the first meeting that the Pandavas are having with Krishna. When they came back from Lakshagraha, Krishna went with Balram to meet them. And that is the first meeting that happened. And in that meeting it is described, when they saw Krishna for the first time, the Pandavas till then have had a very tough life, as you can imagine. They have lived for 12, 13 years in the forest since their birth. Then after the father Pandu dies, Then they came back to Hastinapur and they are unwelcome there. Nobody wants them. None of the Kaurava children, 100 children, none of them want them. They want that, why don't they die? And they try to kill them also by poisoning and so many things. So imagine being unwanted, being forced to live in a particular place and being unwanted. How tough it must be. They have had this life for whatever they can remember. So many times, Kauravas have already tried to insult them, kill them. And now the main character of their life enters, entry Krishna. Right? Krishna makes entry into their life. So it is described that when they saw Krishna for the first time, it was almost as though उनके मरे हुए शरीर में फिर से आत्मा का प्रवेश हुआ. It was almost as though their dead bodies came back to life again. And Krishna came and he just showered love, he embraced all of them. So first, now Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but still he follows the Maryada that is there in society. Yudhishthir and Bhima were elder in age than Krishna. So Krishna paid obeisances to them. He took their blessings. Okay? And then Arjun was kind of same age. So he embraced Arjun. And then Nakul and Sahadev were younger than Krishna. So they paid obeisances to him. And Krishna embraced them also. So like this, he was, and then they told him, you stay with us sometime. So then Krishna stays in Hastinapur for some time with the Pandavas. And like this, many days pass. And then one day Arjuna is going for hunting in the forest. So when they go to the forest for hunting, Arjuna and Krishna together in a chariot, they go for hunting. And they come to the Yamuna. And at the Yamuna, they see one very, very effulgent and very, very beautiful lady, young girl, walking along the banks of the Yamuna. I see, out of the blue, suddenly someone, you are walking in the forest there is a river, in that river, suddenly there's this extremely effulgent Devi kind of person walking along the bank of the river. So Krishna tells Arjun, he tells Arjun that we just go and find out who is she, what is she walking, what is she doing here. So then, Arjun is, he's a eternal friend and servant of Krishna. So he happily goes. He goes, like होता है ना कॉलेज में कोई दोस्त आके किसी और के हिसाब से पूछता है. So he comes and he goes to this lady and he asks her that, oh beautiful lady, what are you doing, loitering like this, on this banks of the river? Your father is not visible, nothing is there. ऐसे आप अकेले कैसे घूम रहे हो? So that was the Vedic culture. A woman would never be alone, just loitering in a lonely place. It was never the situation. Always the ladies were protected. Last time we discussed, right? Ladies were protected. That didn't mean they were weak. They were not weak. They knew how to protect themselves. They knew how to talk. They were not just some, we have seen so many examples in the Mahabharata, in the Ramayana, how the ladies gave it back when the husbands were, acting funny. So if someone is just walking alone like that, that was unnatural. So Arjun comes and asks that, why are you just, loitering here? What is your purpose? Who are you? So she tells that I am Kalindi. I am Kalindi. And she says, I am Yamuna. Okay, I am the daughter of Suryadev. I am the daughter of Suryadev, and I have taken a vow. I have taken a vow, and I have been performing austerities also. I've been living in this river. She is the personified Yamuna. So Yamuna river, the personification of Yamuna is this person. She says, I have been living here, but I have taken a vow that I will marry only Lord Narayan. I don't want to get married to anybody else. So not doing it. It's okay, it's okay. Not doing it. So I have taken a vow that I will get married only to Lord Narayan. So now, since Lord Narayan is with you, right? What since the Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan, who is the the protector of all living entities and who is the giver of liberation, since he is here with you, I want you to approach him on my behalf. So Prabhupada makes a nice point here in the purport. He says that even if you are the daughter of Surya Dev, even if you are, Yamuna Devi, the great Yamuna Devi, still we don't approach Krishna directly. Your chances of success are better if you approach Krishna through devotee, which is why we need Guru. We take shelter of Guru because Guru is connected directly to Krishna. If Guru tells the Lord that this is good devotee, he'll accept. Or we go through Srimati Radharani. If Srimati Radharani tells the Lord that this is good devotee, he's better than me, now Krishna will say no. He has no choice. He has to accept. Right? So like that, she approaches through Arjun. And then the Lord meets her, smiles at her, and says, okay, I accept the proposal. So then he takes her back to Dwarka and then he marries her. So this is the fourth one. Now, after this is done, after marrying Kalindi, the next story is given. Okay, that how the fifth wife came. The fifth wife, her name was Mitra Vinda. Mitra Vinda. So Mitra Vinda, basically Mitra means friend and Vinda means found. So she found her best friend. She found Krishna. So let us discuss how she found Krishna. So she was the sister of two kings of Avantipur. Avantipur is Ujjain. What is Ujjain? Anyone remembers Ujjain from recent lectures? Andipani Muni का आश्रम उज्जैन में है जहाँ पे कृष्णा एंड बलराम had studied. So she is from Ujjain. Connection ढूंढो क्या connection है, right? So the acharyas have explained. It's not there in Srimad Bhagavatam, but Jiva Goswami has explained what is the connection of Mitra Vinda, how she met Krishna, right? So it is described that brothers Vidya and Anuvidya. Hare Krishna. So this Vinda and Vindya and Anuvindya, they were the two brothers who were kings of Ujjain, which was called Avantipur. Now both of them were affiliated to Duryodhana. So kings were always, like we said, right? Like Satrajit was affiliated to Ugrasen. These two were affiliated to Duryodhana. So because of that, anyone who is friend of Duryodhana becomes their friend. Anyone who is seen as enemy of Duryodhana or aligned to the enemy of Duryodhana is seen as enemy. Because Krishna is closer to the Pandavas, therefore these two brothers, they saw Krishna as an enemy. Now Mitra Vinda always from her childhood always wanted to marry Krishna. She always wanted to marry Krishna. You see, Mitra Vinda ko Krishna ko kahan se pata chala? Right? Like Rukmini is how she came to know about Krishna by simply hearing. So the Brahmanas would come and chant Krishna's glories in the palace, and they would hear, and from that hearing she got attracted to him. That's what we were discussing last time. So over here, there's a different story. So the Acharyas described that when Krishna and Balram were staying in Ujjain, after, you remember we discussed last time, right? After they finished their education in 64 days, they learned 64 arts. We went through all those arts, reading out from Bhagavatam. So after that was done, they did Guru Dakshina. They brought the son of the Guru back from Yamloka. And also होने के बाद, they went to visit this mother of Mitravinda. She had called them to their house for prasad, kind of thing, right? She had called for prasad. So while they were there, she must have seen Krishna. That is what the acharyas explain. That's the only explanation. Otherwise, how else? So the Krishna, as a student, she has seen him and she has fallen in love with him. And I want to marry him only. But now, because the brothers are aligned with Duryodhan, they say no. You cannot marry, right? So what happened is this Mitravinda, it is described in Bhagavatam, very qualified, very learned and elegant girl. So very elegant, very very, क्या बोलते हैं, very sophisticated, very nice girl she was. She wanted Krishna as a husband. So now what happened was these brothers Vindhya and Anuvindhya, against the desire of Mitravinda, they organized a Swayamvar. They organize a Swayamvar where various people can come and they can she can choose a husband from the boys. Now she has expressed that I want to marry Krishna, but they are against that. They should have only called Krishna and finished it off, but no, they called many people. So now again it is described that in the Swayamvar, Krishna came. Like he came and he took Rukmini away, he took Mitravinda also away. So she had a desire that she should marry Krishna. So Krishna manifested in that Swayamvar. He came to that Swayamvar. He just picked her and took her away. And the princes, all of them who were assembled, they could do nothing. They were not able to even resist him. He just took her and went away. So this is wife number 5, Mitravinda. Now, after this, it is described that the sixth wife, okay, so her name was Nagnajiti or Satya. Her name was Satya, but she was the daughter of King Nagnajit of Koshal. Okay, Koshal is Ayodhya side. Okay, so she was the daughter of King Nagnajit, who's from Koshal. So this King Nagnajit had put a peculiar condition, a very peculiar condition about how his daughter will get married. So he had 7 bulls, very powerful bulls, untamed bulls. Okay, and the idea was that these 7 bulls, whoever can harness them, उनके नाक से रोट डाल के उनको control कर सके, that person can marry my daughter. Now, for those of you, many of us are completely far removed from all these things, right? हमने को ये बुल को हार्नेस करना, घोड़े को हार्नेस करना, ये सब तो 60-70 साल पहले सब लोग भूल गए. अभी तो सब we only harness our cars. गाड़ी को हम लोग हार्नेस लगाते हैं कि ignition लगा हुआ, fill it, shut it, forget it, right? We are all in that age today. But that was the thing. So this many princes, because this Satya again was a very qualified, very beautiful and very wonderful girl. So many princes wanted to marry her. So both John they fight Mara. All of them went back with broken bones because each of those bulls was so powerful. एक को control करना तो मुश्किल, 7 को तो chance ही नहीं है. So it is like that, like the condition that was placed by Maharaj Janak for the marriage of Sita. अभी मदर सीता का क्या है, why Janak plays such a weird thing that Shiva का bow जो है, that bow of Shiva, it is described that the condition Janak placed is that this bow should be lifted by the person who wants to marry her, should string the bow and twang it. मतलब then it seems like a very ordinary thing. bow उठाने में क्या बड़ी बात है? क्षत्रिय और रामायण में दिखाया ना ऐसा एक क्षत्रिय ऐसा ऐसा करके आता है, अब उठाने को ट्राई करता है, कोई उसको हिला भी नहीं सकते. They're not even able to move it, let alone lifting it or stringing. They're not able to lift it. So why he placed such a weird condition? Because in her childhood, Sita had once, while with her friends, she was playing with her friends. They came to this bow of Lord Shiva. She just came, she picked it up. She picked it up, she played with it for some time, and she kept it down. And so because that bow, to bring it to the Sabha, that Sabha where this Swayamvar happened, where Mother Sita, all the suitors were coming to lift the bow. वो बो वहां लेके आने के लिए कुछ 100 लोग लगे थे. 100 people to lift it, put it on that chariot and bring it. It was a very difficult job. And Sita, as a small girl, someone slightly bigger than him, she just picks it up and she plays. He said, Baba, if she does this to such a heavy and powerful bow, husband ka kya hoga? Husband will be finished, in her hands. So he wanted someone who is equally powerful. That's why he put this condition. So same way over here, he has put this weird condition. These 7 bulls need to be tamed. Then that person can marry my daughter Satya. So now many men came, many people tried, सबके हाथ पांव तंगड़ियां तोड़ के वापस भेज दिया पुलिस ने, कोई बचता नहीं था. Everyone used to just fail in this endeavor. No one was succeeding. Now again Satya had a desire that I want to marry Krishna. And interestingly, even King Nagnajit had a desire that Krishna should marry her and no one else, which is why he placed this condition, knowing fully well ये condition कोई fulfill नहीं कर सकता सिवाय Krishna. Nobody else can fulfill this. He knows this. So therefore, finally Krishna also heard कि अरे ये सत्या करके है, and you know this condition has been placed, 7 bulls, चलो हम भी जाके देखते हैं क्या है करके. So Krishna goes, and when he goes, it is described that Satya, when she understood that Krishna himself had come there to marry her, she was very much pleased, you know, because she for a very long time she had cherished the idea that I want to marry Krishna, and she was following great austerities to please the Lord. That you know, बोलते ना हिंदी में कहा था ना, कष्ट करने से ही कृष्ण मिलते हैं. कष्ट करने से फल तो मिलता ही है, लेकिन कष्ट करने से ही कृष्ण मिलते हैं. You don't get Krishna so easily. It is not such a खाने का चीज नहीं है कि अरे हम थोड़ा सा भक्ति कर लिया भगवान हमारे हो गए. No, we have to strive for it. If you want something of value, you have to strive hard. If you want someone who is the most powerful entity in the entire universe, you want that person, you have to strive harder. No, थोड़ा और मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. ऐसे थोड़ी है कि ऐसे ही भगवान उठ के. A lot of people say, show me God. Show me God. अरे क्या तुम लोफर कहीं से रास्ते से उठ के आए, तुम्हारे लिए भगवान क्यों प्रकट होंगे? If someone says I want to see, you know, show me Joe Biden, I don't believe he's a real character. ये इंटरनेट पे सब फेक होता है आजकल. Why will Joe Biden come for you, loafer? Why? He will not come. Only if you are really qualified, you are something great, then he will want to see you. Same way, you know, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you know, the guru of the founder of ISKCON, his guru, Srila Prabhupada's guru, he used to say, don't try to see God. Don't try to see God. Try to act in such a way that God wants to see you. Perform devotional service in such a humble and such a pure spirit that the Lord feels attracted to see you. This is perfection. Perfection is not that मैंने भगवान को देख लिया, मेरा साक्षात्कार हो गया, अपुन का हो गया, हम भगवान को देख लिया अभी. No, that is not the goal of life, that we want to see God. We want to serve God. That is the goal of a devotee. That I want to be in a position that I can serve the Lord pleasingly. Not serve in which way I want to. मुझे लगता है मैं ऐसा सेवा करेगा. No. We have to serve the Lord the way the Guru, the Acharyas have taught us. Like that we serve. So like this, she also had a desire, and she was following the principles of austerities to obtain this, right? And she started thinking, I'll just quote, if I have performed any pious activity to the best of my ability, and if I have sincerely thought all along to have Krishna as my husband, then let Krishna, may he be pleased to fulfill my long cherished desire. This is her prayer. So she is not praying that मेरा ये हो जाए वो हो जाए. She's not feeling कि मैंने इतना austerity किया है, तो अभी भगवान को तो आना चाहिए. You know, sometimes हमको लगता है ना कि अरे मैं कितने सालों से 16 माला कर रहा हूँ, आपको पता है कि नहीं भगवान, आप देख रहे हो ना सब, मतलब आपको, you know, आप जानते हो ना मेरे हृदय में क्या है, पता है ना आपको, ना भगवान के सामने जाके देखो, हाँ मतलब सब मैं बराबर कर रहा हूँ, आपको करने का, अभी आपका टाइम आ गया करने का बस. Right? This is how we think. But a pure devotee always feels that I don't deserve. The consciousness of a devotee, a genuine bhakta, bhakti is also a very big thing. To say that you are a Vaishnava or a Bhakti is a very big thing, Baba. It's a छोटा मोटा मामूली चीज नहीं है. Why? Because this is the consciousness of Bhakt. Bhakt never feels qualified. Bhakt will never feel कि अभी तो हो गया ना, और कितना, मतलब अभी तो भगवान प्रकट होने चाहिए मेरे सामने. नहीं, he always feels unqualified, that I don't have any qualification. My heart is filled with anarthas. मेरे हृदय में लस्ट, एंगर, ग्रीड, एंटी, प्राइड, इल्यूजन सब कूट कूट के भरे हुए हैं भगवान। मुझे तो लगता नहीं इस जन्म में कभी आप मेरे सामने प्रकट हो। You know, this is what the consciousness of devotee. I don't deserve to see you, my Lord, but I want to serve you. Right? This is the consciousness. So she is also thinking like that. So like this, now Krishna comes in front of King Satyajit. बहुत सारे लोग आए गए, आयराम गैराम बहुत लोग, अभी कृष्णा आते हैं. When he comes to this place, right? This is where, this is Koshan, near Ayodhya. He comes there and he comes in front of King Satyajit. Now Satyajit is very happy that Krishna has come because मेरा पूरा कंडीशन इन्हीं के लिए था. जैसे टेंडर होते हैं ना अपना HPCL, BPCL, RCF वाले सब समझते हैं टेंडर क्या होता है. अभी टेंडर में स्पेक्स होता है ना, टेंडर में certain specification are given. तो specification are given so that only certain vendors will win. बाकी कोई जीतना नहीं चाहिए. यहाँ पे जो भी प्रोक्योरमेंट वाला है सब समझ रहा है मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, राइट? कोई कुछ बोलेगा नहीं तो सब समझ जाओ अपने आप से, राइट? कि स्पेसिफिकेशन होता है टेंडर में कि ताकि ओनली दीस 3 वेंडर्स विल कम एंड इनमें से ये वाला जीतेगा. वो सब सोच के ही बनाते हैं. गवर्नमेंट में ऐसे होता है धंधा, अनफॉर्चुनेटली. सो हियर आल्सो इट्स लाइक अ स्पेसिफिक एक्सपेक्ट करके रखा है टेंडर को, खाली कृष्णा आएगा. फाइनली कृष्णा आ गए. When he comes, Satyajit is so happy. He glorifies Krishna. He says so many wonderful things. My Lord, you are here. We are so grateful and everything. But then after that, Krishna tells him, see, Kshatriyas normally don't ask for anything. Prabhupada says, you know, in Krishna book, that Kshatriyas are not supposed to ask. They take. Like Krishna has already taken, no? Many wives he has just picked up like that and taken. Mitra, Vrinda, Rukmini, बहुत जब कैसे उठा के लेके गए, कोई कुछ केयर कर नहीं पाया. He could have taken Satya like that, but no, out of respect, he said that, you know, he knows the father is favorable. तो जहाँ favorable है वहाँ पे क्यों लड़ाई करना, क्या जरूरत है? तो कृष्णा ने उनको बोला कि देखो, I would like to marry Satya. He says, but हमारे में, हमारे फैमिली में ऐसा कोई लेन देन का सवाल ही नहीं होता. We don't do all these things. He doesn't say that I will not fulfill your condition, but he says हम लोग ये सब नहीं करते. So what is the understanding? Basically, he is telling Nagnajit, King Nagnajit, you just give me your daughter, कोई 7 bull का condition हम fulfill नहीं करेंगे. हम नहीं करेंगे. Like he is Lord, no? He can say, he can ask. Now Nagnajit, you know, Nagnajit, he very humbly he puts it before the Lord, right? He says, see, this is a vow that I had taken long back, you know, so that I find a suitable husband for my daughter. मेरा सिर्फ यही इच्छा था कि suitable husband मिलना चाहिए. तो उसी में मैंने ऐसा कंडीशन रखा कि कोई ऐरा गहरा इसको फुलफिल नहीं कर पाया. But for you, what is so difficult? You can easily, you know, subdue these bulls, and you can take my daughter. So Krishna says, okay, ठीक है. So Krishna understood that he didn't want to give up his vow. So he said, all right. So उन्होंने अपनी कमर कस ली, and he goes, and immediately he divides into 7 Krishnas. He is one Krishna. He divides into 7 in front of Nagnajiti, in front of King Nagnajit, in front of Satya. He divides into 7, and then he goes, and एक bull, each Krishna goes, catches one bull के नाक से rope डालते हैं, and then comfortably सातों bulls को, then he takes by the rope. He becomes one Krishna again, and with the rope, like it is described like how a child plays with a toy bull. उसको ऐसे खींचते हुए भागते हैं ना बच्चे लोग, ऐसा वो ऐसे लेके भागते हैं. वैसे Krishna takes all the 7 bulls and he brings and he says, here you are, 7 bulls subdued, हो गया काम. So Sridhar Swami, you know, who is one of the great acharyas 4,000 years back, he gives a, you know, tippani on this particular pastime. He says, why Krishna divided into 7? He could have easily, as one also, he could have gone and defeated all 7. तो 7 form लेने का क्या दरकार है? क्यों किया? Why he did this? So the logic behind this, Sridhar Swami explains that already Satya knows, Nagnajiti knows that Krishna already has many wives. Already 5 तो हो गए, तो छठी है कि नहीं? तो एक माइंड में एक डाउट आ सकता है ना कि यार I will, not get much access to him, because Rukmini is there, so many wonderful, more qualified people than me are there. How he will give me time? He'll never give me his association, right? So like that, she may be having doubt in her mind. Therefore, Krishna divides into 7 to assure her mostly. Yoga, don't worry, you will have my association. Don't worry, right? And he is the Supreme Lord, so he can do this. See, this is one of our worries also. As devotees, we may be having a doubt in our mind कि अरे spiritual world में भगवान है ऐसे, so many millions of devotees are there. मेरा क्या होगा, we have that doubt in our mind that so many devotees are there, what about me, what is my personal relationship with God going to be? That is where Krishna, through his pastimes, he shows how he is unlimited. In the Brahma Vimon Leela we had discussed, I think यहाँ पे discuss किया था Brahma Vimon, किया था Brahma Vimon Leela discuss how Krishna became the gopas, he became the cows for one full year. Hundreds and thousands of calves, he became Krishna. Krishna became that. So he shows through his pastimes that he can form unlimited forms and he can very comfortably, individually reciprocate with every devotee. This is God. So God is not some, again, coming back, he is a person who has a personal relationship with each and every one of us. And through the process of bhakti, through the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Through this process of chanting, through this process of simply hearing, हरि कथा सुनो बस, ज्यादा सोचो मत, सुनो. क्या है ना, वाटरफॉल के नीचे आके खड़े हो गए, साफ तो होना ही होना है, पूरा एक एक बॉडी का एक एक सेल आपका प्यूरिफाई हो जाएगा, इतना वो फोर्स रहता है उसका. Harinam is like that. It's so purifying, it is so powerful. Simply by hearing, we are purified. So like this. So he divided into 7, subdued the bulls, and then Nagnajiti was given to him, and it is described a huge dowry was given by King Nagnajit, to please Krishna and for his daughter. मेरी बेटी एक इकलौती बेटी जा रही है, so huge dowry was given. So when Krishna is driving back, now where is he? He is in Kaushal. Where is Kaushal? अयोध्या. अयोध्या कहाँ है? यूपी में. और वो कहाँ जा रहे हैं? द्वारका. तो लंबा डिस्टेंस है ना, तो वो सब जा रहे हैं. जब जा रहे हैं, एक प्रॉब्लम हो गया. all the princes who wanted to marry Satya but did not succeed, मतलब हाथ पांव तुड़वा के वापस घर गए, इंसल्ट होके, इंसुलेट बोलते ना, इंसुलेट हो गया, पूरा इंसल्ट होके जो वापस गए हैं, जब उनको पता चला कि कृष्णा हैज नाउ वन द हैंड ऑफ सत्यजीत ऑफ नग्नजीति एंड ही इज टेकिंग हर बैक, they became envious, so they attacked Krishna. Now when they attacked Krishna, it is described Krishna had a few yadus with him. Hey, he had gone with yadus there, so the yadus were there, the yadus started fighting, and then Arjuna also joined the battle from somewhere. I don't know how, connection बताया नहीं कि अर्जुन कहाँ से आ गए पिक्चर में, but वो साइड में है, तो अर्जुन भी वहीं पे कहीं है ना, हस्तिनापुर is not very far. So Arjun joined the battle, maybe he was there with him when this whole thing happened. Arjun joined the battle and Arjun defeated all these princes without killing anyone. एक को भी नहीं मारा. See, this is the expertise of these people, that Arjuna, if he wanted, he could kill all of them at will. But if he wanted, he could defeat them without killing them. Even in the battle of Varnavrat, if you see in Mahabharata, it is described, the battle of Varnavrat, all the Kurus were defeated. Arjuna was alone. He was alone and he was in the form of a eunuch. Right? But still he defeated all of them and none of them died. They just got defeated. They couldn't fight anymore. They had to retreat. Well, he would injure them, he would break their bones in such a way that they can't fight. This is the expertise of Arjuna, right? Arjuna is so super skilled. So Arjuna drove them away. So this is the 6th wife. Okay. Then it is described 2 more wives, Bhadra and Lakshmana. And we'll end with this. So Bhadra, she was the daughter of Shrutakirti. Shrutakirti was also another relative of Krishna. So she was the daughter. She wanted to marry Krishna. She had expressed to her family, and her family laid no condition. They just gave. So Bhadra, easiest of all the 8, Bhadra was just married to Krishna unconditionally. Her brother handed over. Bhadra was from KKR. KKR is North Punjab, Pakistan. What is today North Punjab of Pakistan? That is KKR. So she was from that place. So वहां से थी, and she wanted to marry Krishna who is in Dwarka, and she married him. Okay, so वो हो गया. Then after that, the 8th principal queen of Krishna was a lady called Lakshmana. So this Lakshmana, she was from Madras province, Madras, South India, right? So she also had all good qualities. She was also forcibly married by Krishna. She also, unka bhi swayamvar tha. In front of all the princes who were attending her swayamvar, Krishna just took Lakshmana and went away with her, and nobody could fight with her. So it is described that, twice it is mentioned. In Rukmini's case also it was mentioned, like how Garuda stole the pot of nectar from the demigods. In the same way, Krishna stole Rukmini and he stole Lakshmana also in the same way. मतलब पलक झपकते उनको उठा के लेके गए, कुछ कर नहीं पाया, like that. So if you see in one sense, all the different wives of Krishna, it's like a national integration. Alag Rukmini is from Nagpur, Vidarbha. She's from that side. Kalindi, Yamuna, she's from Delhi. Then Mitravinda is from Ujjain, Central India. Then Nagnajiti is from Awadh, UP side. Bhadra is from Pakistan, west side. And Lakshmana is from Madras, right? So in a national integration, he married, wives from all different provinces across India. Right? So what do we learn from these stories? And we spoke of a few lessons. But from these stories, what do we pick up? Anyone would like to contribute any thoughts? What is it that we can take away from these beautiful pastimes of Krishna marrying his 8 wives? What do we learn from this? Anybody? Unity in diversity. Yeah, it's true actually. How 8 wives managed to, stay with one person, but actually he divided himself into actually 16,108 Krishna. So for those of us who feel कि अरे क्या है 8 wives, 16,000 wives, it's not. I mean, for those of us who have wives, 8 wives is also very difficult. Luckily, my wife is not here, so I can make all these statements. Right? One wife is also difficult, however she may be, however nice she may be, but it's always difficult. Of course, wives will say, "What about husband? तुम्हें क्या लगता है? Husband को manage करना आसान है, मतलब और भी कठिन." वो भी बात सही है, but yeah, it is equally true for both sides, right? Manage. So, we see, national, what is that? Unity in diversity. And Krishna was able to manage so many different wives together. Okay, what else can we learn from this? Yeah, yes, bro.
People who are strongly wishing, it fulfills their wish.
Absolutely beautiful. So those who have a strong desire in their heart, you see in almost all of them, Rukmini, strong desire, she had very strong desire. Then Kalindi, strong desire, and austerities. She was performing austerities. I will only marry him. Then Mitravinda, strong desire. She wanted to marry, but brothers didn't want to marry. So Krishna came and took her away. Then Nagnajiti, again, she had a desire in her heart. Right? She felt, I'm not qualified, but she had a desire. Bhadra, she had desire, she expressed, Lord fulfilled. Lakshmana का कुछ बुरा नहीं है, but maybe Krishna had a desire to take her, so he went. Right? So if the pure devotee, has a very strong desire for, for attaining the feet of the Lord, then if the pure devotee really desires strongly to serve the Lord is compelled. Compelled means forced. He is forced to come and fulfill their desires. It's a very powerful thing, which is why bhakti is very rare. Right? Because in bhakti, the all-powerful Supreme Lord comes under the control of a insignificant living entity like us. We are insignificant. मतलब हम लोग तो तुच्छ में तुच्छ के तुच्छ, तुच्छा नाम सबसे most तुच्छ है हम लोग. We are so insignificant. We feel we are very great. हमें लगता है मैं बहुत great है क्या? मालूम है क्या? मैं कौन हूँ? कौन से कॉलेज से हूँ? पता है क्या? मालूम है? Immediately हम लोग का ego ऐसा ऐसा रहता है ना. We are insignificant, completely insignificant, but still we feel we are great, right? But the Supreme Lord, He comes under the control of an insignificant living entity simply through the process of bhakti. We can know Krishna only through bhakti, and we can love Him through bhakti. So that is why, if a pure devotee who is very genuine in their desires, has no other, ahaituki apratihata. Ahaituki means no hetu. They have no intention, they have no objective, no motivation for worshipping. They just worship the Lord with a pure heart. And apratihata, there is no interruption. ऐसे तो भूखा बैठ के लिखे भगवान जरा 1 मिनट जरा मेरा थोड़ा टीवी शो देख के आता हूँ फिर उसके बाद. No, there is apratihata, there is no interruption. This is bhakti. If that kind of bhakti is demonstrated by devotees, then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is a controller, Sarva Brahmand Nayak, Nayakanam Shiro Ratnam, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, that person gets controlled. So, very beautiful lesson we can learn that if all these queens, none of them had a desire that I want to enjoy Krishna. They are all thinking, I want to serve the Lord. The best way I can serve is by being a wife. I want to serve. That consciousness they had. What else? Any other thoughts? Any other lessons we can learn? Yes, Madhu.
Actually, for Krishna, the pure devotees, before they express the doubt, he resolved the doubt. For example, he expanded in the seven Krishnas.
Yeah.
Because the girl, she should not think how can Krishna can give the association to me. So he clarified the doubt without expressing. Because Krishna knows the inner heart of the devotees.
Yeah. That's a very beautiful point that the Supreme Lord, he knows, as he says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddeshu Arjuna Tishtati. Bhagavad Gita, he says, Sarvasya Chaham Riddhi Sanivishto Matta Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha Vedesya Sarve Aham Eva Vedyo Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham. So he says that I am residing in the heart of everyone as the Paramatma. And as the Paramatma, I know what is in your heart. I know what you want. Even if we don't know what we want, the Lord knows what we want. He knows because He is residing in our heart. He knows our innermost desire. हम लोग दुनिया को एक मास्क पहन के दिखाते हैं. All of us wear masks. मास्क को क्या बोलते हैं? नकाब. हाँ? मुखौटा. हिंदी थोड़ा डाइसी है. So ये जो मुखौटा, जो नकाब, मास्क पहन के हम लोग घूमते हैं. We all have a mask. We have a mask for our family. We have a mask for our office colleagues. We have a mask for this satsang. इस satsang में भी हम लोग एक mask पहनते हैं. All of us have a mask. Right? We don't know it. Sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. We all have a mask, right? But that mask needs to come off. In front of the Supreme Lord, we don't have any mask. The Lord knows everything. It is in our heart. So, like what Mati said, sometimes before we express something, He comes and fulfills our desire. So this is the Supreme Lord. Anything else? Anyone else?
Why Bhagavan Krishna didn't marry Radhaji?
That is a very good question. It is described that Srimati Radharani, she is the eternal consort of the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. Okay? But in this material world, their rasa was that of Vipralambha. Vipralambha means or Parakya. It's a little high topic to discuss here, but just at a basic level, Krishna's relationship with Srimati Radharani was on the level of Parakya, meaning not, like क्या बोलते हैं, when someone is married to someone, there is a particular Swakiya relationship. But Parakya is when there is no marriage and it is outside the bound of society. There is a certain higher level of relationship there. But we should not measure it in terms of our bodily understanding. This is a completely spiritual relationship, and the relationship of Krishna was so thick because there was this element of separation between them, because they are separated always. Therefore, in Vipralambha, in that pain of separation, Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna keeps increasing, and Krishna's love for Srimati Radharani keeps increasing. That is at a low level what I can explain, beyond my level also. But I hope that answers to an extent. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Any other? So the idea here is that this desire, right? Either Krishna has a desire to come and take us away, but he will have a desire only when we have desire. He will not independently just come like that. If we develop a desire, right? The purpose of human form of life. And if I were to ask you, what's the purpose of your life? What would we say? Purpose of my life? I want to be a good student. I want to be a good MBA. Those who are MBA, I want to be a manager. I want to be a general manager. I want to be an executive director. I want to be a CMD. I want to have big bungalow. I want to have big car. I want to have crore ka bank balance. I want to retire in Barbados, West Indies. Beach pe rehna hai mere ko. We may all say different things as goals of our life, but real goal of human form of perfection, perfect goal of human form of life, what is to develop this desire. We may have so many millions of desires. That's natural. We are in human body. We will have desires. It is natural. But perfection is to develop this desire that I want the lotus feet of Krishna. This is perfection. This is the purpose, real purpose of human form of life. Now you may say, this is too exalted for me, Baba. What is this? I don't have this desire. I also don't have. None of us have this desire. But at least we have to have a desire to have this desire. That is also okay. That someday I want to have a desire, my Lord, that I want you. Today I don't want you. Today I want wife, I want daughter, I want son, I want bank balance, I want vriddhi in my my material life. I want all these things. But at least we should have a desire to have this desire. If we have that, and how will that desire come? That desire will come and we come like this in the association of like-minded people. See, when you're outside, I mean, the moment you step out of this room, the atmosphere changes, isn't it? Moment we step out, atmosphere changes. Immediately, TV का आवाज चालू होता है, ये आवाज चलता है, phone का notification आना चालू होता है, ये वो ta 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 ta. It's like a big din outside. Moment we step out, while we are here, something has got disconnected with the outside world. We got connected to something transcendental. So that is what it is. If we come like this, we give ourselves an opportunity to hear Hari Katha, to purify our life and to develop desire. Srimad Bhagavatam, the magic of Srimad Bhagavatam is not that it's got beautiful stories. It does. But the magic of Srimad Bhagavatam is by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, it changes our aspirations. What aspirations do we have in life? Right? This helps us to rise above those mundane, very ordinary aspirations which everyone, room के बाहर जाओ सबका वही aspiration है. मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे वो चाहिए, मुझे ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए. But when we come and hear Hari Katha, it raises our level of aspiration. So that is why we should keep coming back like this in the association of devotees, chant Hare Krishna, listen to Hari Katha, and purify our aspirations. Silent dear, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Gurudev ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Any question, comment, just one or two quickly? Yes.
Like you said that practicing Bhagwan Gita, that is thinking true. But in some cases like the Ajamil, unknowingly just all his whole life he did sinful activities, but just unknowingly at the moment of his death he acted unintentionally or unknowingly the name of Narayan and he got this.
Yes. How do we explain? It's a very good question. Yeah. Thank you. It's nice to know that there are people who have read also. Thank you. Nice question. So the question he's asking is, there is a story of a person in Ajamil who lived an extremely horrible sinful life. And at the end of his life, Yamadutas came to remove his soul from his body. And he became so fearful, he called out to his son. He had named his son Narayan. So he was not even calling Narayan Narayan. He was calling his son Narayan. Narayan, Narayan. Because when you are in panic, what is dearest to you, that is what you remember. So he remembered Narayan, his son. He called out Narayan. Because he called out Narayan, the Vishnu Dutas appeared in one moment and they told the Yamdutas, you can't take him. You can't take him, ka kya matlab? Of course you can take him. No, you can't. And they were not able to, take him. And, then they go back to Yamraj and they ask, ये क्या चक्कर है यार? इतना पापी इंसान जिंदगी भर पाप किया है. वो कुछ suddenly these, very effulgent 400 forms, they come and they say that you can't take him. Why you can't take him? Because he chanted Narayan. ये तो बहुत बढ़िया नुस्खा बता दिया. हम लोग ऐसा 1.5 घंटा संडे को आके तो थोड़ी बैठते थे. वो ये मालूम होता तो पहले ही बताने का था. हम भी एकदम एंड ऑफ लाइफ बोले नारायण नारायण, अपना भी हो जाएगा उद्धार. It's not so simple. See, what we understand, these stories, the story of Ajamil, he was a very qualified, pure Brahmana who was assisting his father in doing, whatever devotional activities before he got contaminated. But then he got contaminated, right? Because he was not in the process of bhakti, he was following a different path. He got contaminated and he got distracted and he went completely on the wrong path. But because he unknowingly chanted the names of Lord Narayan, therefore he was given a second chance. There's a book called Second Chance, right? So the story is told to us from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Why Ajamil of all the people is mentioned? Because it gives hope. The Bhagavatam also gives us hope that even a person as sinful as Ajamil, simply because once helplessly he called the name of Narayan, not even calling Narayan. So then what to speak of those amongst all of us in this room who have today, right in this room, have chanted the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. With knowledge, with full consciousness, if we chant, what destinations are waiting for us. So that story is there in Srimad Bhagavatam to give us that hope. What is the power of the holy name? Holy name is so powerful that all sinful activities, you cannot commit itna sinful activities आप commit भी नहीं कर पाओगे जितना holy name में शक्ति है उन्हें उनका आपका उद्धार करने में. That's the principle that we. Okay. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Shall we end here? हरे कृष्णा. श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. श्री गुरुदेव की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदी हरे. We do kirtan for 15 minutes. Hare Krishna.